Hey folks, welcome back to Grumpysgreatoutdoors. We have got a great video for you this week. I've been waiting on this one. We're really excited about it. We're doing 3 briskets, 4 pork butts, and 70 chicken thighs for an event this weekend. It's going to be fun, but it's going to be crazy and chaotic. So get ready for it. Let's go. Yeah, guys, it's going to be pretty busy, as you can imagine, pretty chaotic. We'll be having all this going on at the same time. We'll have each brisket on its own Weber Kettle, and then we'll have the 4 pork butts on the offset smoker at the same time. And then we'll use Weber Kettles for the chicken thighs as well, using the vortex. We'll just see all that stuff. We'll have canopies overhead, because it's going to be pretty hot, and we'll also get some rain coming, I think. So we're going to try to cover from both heat and rain. So nonetheless, we'll bring you guys back, and we're putting the briskets onto the kettles and the pork butts onto the offset smoker. Let's just see how we put them on, how we're going, and we'll go from there. So see you then, guys. All right, folks, all 3 briskets are on now. In the first one here, I used the slow and sear, and the other 2, I used the smoke and sizzle. For those of you who don't know what that is, click the link to the video in the upper right corner of your screen and watch that video. These devices turn your kettle into a smoker, which is really handy. I prefer the smoke and sizzle because I think it holds more charcoal and it's definitely cheaper. There's a link in the description if you're interested in getting one. Now, I use salt and pepper on these briskets. As always, I use post oak wood. I love post oak wood and beef. The salt and pepper is a fantastic brisket when you use that. Now for pork, I tend to use pecan wood. I don't always. I tend to. I will use fruit woods like apples or cherry, but I just like pecan wood on most everything. That's what we're using today. Is going to be pecan wood. Got plenty of it, and I like it a lot. So we'll use that with the pork butts. All right, folks. Here's our 4 pork butts. We're going to cook them at 225 to 250 in that range, and let them get to about 165 internal. At which point we'll wrap them in foil and let them finish. Well, good foggy morning, everybody. Chaos continues. Actually, it's not been chaotic at all. It's been pretty calm. Things are going very well. We got our 3 briskets done. We got our 4 pork butts done. They're all in the warming cabinet. Now this morning we're doing our chicken thighs. We got over 70 of those to do, and a good handful of breasts to do as well. So we got our 4 vortexes going here, and once they get done, we will get ready. We'll put the chicken thighs on and get them completed as well. So we are rolling right along with a pretty good sized cook here. So we'll get these done and get them delivered. All right, folks, here's all the chicken thighs, and then at the end down here is our chicken breasts. We're having to film inside because it's just nasty rain outside. So we want to share all the thighs we're going to do and the breasts as well. So they're all on racks, seasoned up with some with salt and pepper, some with some other seasonings, so we're really ready to go here. Well, guys, welcome to the chicken mash unit. No disrespect to an actual mash unit, of course, but this sure felt like a mash unit for chickens. We did 73 chicken thighs this morning and about 10 or 12 really big breasts. So we have 3 22-inch grills going, kettles going with vortex in each one of them. These are 2 of them. And we had an 18-inch kettle is going as well. We had the breasts in there with the vortex. And here's another vortex in this 22-inch. So these things did great, guys. These vortex are just fantastic devices. By all means, get one if you don't have one. Get a Weber Kettle if you don't have one. I'm telling you guys, they're just so versatile and so easy to use. They're just so fun. So by all means, get you one of these. I will. If you're not sure what the vortex is, I'll put a link to a video in the upper right corner of your screen that shows you this, what these things do and how well they work. It's just fantastic. So we've got all the chicken and the 3 briskets as well as the 4 pork butts in the warming cabinet. If you're not sure what the warming cabinet is, I've got a video. I'll put a link to it right now in the upper right corner of your screen. Go to the very end of that video. You don't have to watch the whole thing. I'd love it if you would, but go to the very end of that video and you'll see the warming cabinet, what it does. So, but guys, we've got a little bit of a rainy, foggy morning this morning, but hey, man, it's a great day to be alive, right? All right, guys, so here we are at the end of our cook. Like I said, we did 3 briskets, 4 pork butts, and 73 chicken thighs and a handful of chicken breasts. Now, this event is actually a 40th high school reunion, which we're headed to now. Our goal is when we get out there, show you our brisket and how we cut it, and the chicken thighs as well as the pulled pork. So we've got everything packed up, ready to go, and we'll see you guys there. All right, folks, here we are at the reunion. Gosh, it took off pretty quick. We got there and thought we had a little more time than we would. But the organizers have done a great job with everything, but they had a little show to begin with, and they got through a little quicker than I expected. So we were left trying to do it as fast as we could. So I got a few shots here. This is the barbecue. In a minute, I'll show you the chicken thighs as well, and then the brisket too. So it went really well, guys. We were real pleased with how things went. I think that Everybody loved the food from what I could tell. They're very complimentary, and that was very pleasing. I actually had some business cards I left laying there, and quite a few were taken. So very pleased with the whole process. I think we'll be glad to do this again for somebody, that's for sure. Folks, to give you kind of a final stats, so to speak, on the pulled pork barbecue, we put it on about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, smoked it at 225 until it got 165, which was right at midnight. We wrapped it in foil and put it back on, and it finished at about 5 o'clock in the morning. At which point we put it in the warming cabinet, so it rested there till about 11:30, quarter 12, and then we took off for the reunion. Apparently, when people loved it, went up really quick, and I was really pleased. It was very tender, very juicy, and it seemed to go over really well. So we're real pleased with that. Now, as for the chicken thighs, guys, they went over very well too. Now, our stats on those are we cooked about 70, a little over 70 of those. We fit about 15 per Weber kettle, and so we had to do a couple of them twice, which was fine because it takes about 15, 20 minutes per cook. So they're boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and we got them to 175 and pulled them off and let the carryover cooking take them to closer to 180, 185. Now, the FDA requires, or doesn't require, they recommend 165. We go a little further than that because when you get about 180, 185, the fat tends to render very well, much better, and you get a much juicier, much more tender piece of chicken that's not dry, which is hugely important, of course. So, but those went really well. I think the flavoring was really good. You can see the grill marks there. It just was the whole cook was great for these things. Really pleased, and people seemed to really like them. So it was really good. Now, as for the brisket, guys, this is the only picture I got of the brisket because I only have two hands, and I was doing a carving station there at the reunion, so this is it. But the final sets on it are we put it on 11 a.m. and it smoked for about 10 hours to about 9 p.m. Now, at that point, it got to about 182, 183, somewhere in that range. I don't really cook to temperature; I cook to feel, and so once the fat on the outside, the fat cap starts breaking through, my finger can get through it. That's when I wrap it. It's usually about 10 to 12 hours in the 180 range. So wrapped in butcher paper. Then it finished at about 11:30. Again, it was about 206 degrees, 204 degrees in some spots. So it cooks about 12 and a half hours overall. And then we actually put it into the warming cabinet where it stayed in the cabinet at 150 degrees until 11:30 the next morning when we went to the reunion. Now that 12-hour rest really does a great, and it was wonderful. The people there loved it. I thought it went really well. They seemed to really like it. It was overall a great experience. I'm glad they liked it so much. We certainly enjoyed doing it. I have to say I was a bit confused though. They kept asking me where I got my apron, and I thought, what apron? I do want to thank the committee for choosing us to do their meats for them in this reunion. It was a great opportunity. It was really fun and not really all that wild and chaotic as I thought it would be. But I owe Mrs. Grumpy a lot of thanks for that. She kept me on time and on target and kept things rolling the way they should. So, guys, we hope you'll push the like button and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that. We have some great videos coming up in the plans. So until then, guys, thanks again, and I'll meet you at the smoker.